I should tell you, is right here, is one of the most effective representatives, and y'all are so lucky to have her representing this county in the state legislature. And then Aisha is a freshman. Typically, freshman legislators are to be seen and not heard. That's what I did when I was a freshman. But this last session, every time I looked up, Aisha was passing a bill off the House floor. She is a rock star. You're going to be hearing a lot from these two, and I am so lucky to call them colleagues and friends, so thank you both for being here. And DFW, thank you for being here. Thank y'all for having me. Before I was a politician, I was a public school teacher. I taught 6th grade language arts at Rhodes Middle School on the west side of San Antonio. I often say teaching middle school is the best preparation for politics. The west side of San Antonio is a beautiful, historic Mexican-American neighborhood. It's also one of the poorest zip codes in the entire state of Texas. So every day my students struggled heroically to overcome poverty, racism, and systems designed to hold them back. My students weren't just kids, they were survivors, dreamers, fighters. I saw in their eyes this unshakable resolve, this unconquered spirit. Their hearts burned with a fire older than the world. There was a word that the veteran teachers would use to describe the kids on the west side, a Spanish word, ganas. Growing up, I saw that same fight in my mother, a preacher's daughter from Laredo who left home at 19, moved up to Austin, met my birth father, a 21-year-old high school dropout whose drinking problem sometimes led to violence. And one night, he became abusive again. But that night, my mother's love rose to meet it. And she packed all our stuff into her little Ford Escort. She drove me to the hotel where she worked. The manager let us stay in one of the rooms until we could find this little apartment in East Austin. There wasn't room for a nursery, so I slept in a crib in her closet. And she was so proud of that closet. She decorated it with toys and pictures. No one was going to tell her it wasn't a nursery. Like my students, my mom was a fighter. And back then, she looked over at the state capitol and she saw Texas Democrats like Ann Richards and Bob Bullock fighting for her. And so, when I was 5 years old, she told me we were Democrats because she said, Democrats fight for the people. Now, let's be honest, we haven't seen that fight from the National Democratic Party in quite a while. But in this moment of crisis, we need fighters, not folders. Imagine a Democratic Party that stands up to big money and isn't beholden to it. Imagine a Democratic Party that listens to people, not DC consultants. Imagine a Democratic Party that delivers on housing, healthcare, education, and actually defeats the right-wing extremists who have taken over this country. National Democrats don't know how to fight. They are comfortable on the coasts and comfortable with the status quo. But there's something about living in a red state that makes you scrappy. Because Texas Democrats know how to fight. Whether it was LBJ pushing the Great Society through Congress, or Barbara Jordan impeaching Richard Nixon, or Wendy Davis holding the floor of the Texas Senate for 13 hours, or Beto O'Rourke interrupting Greg Abbott's press conference in Uvalde. Texas Democrats know how to fight for the people con ganas. That's what we do. We fight for the many against the powerful few, whether they are bullies, bigots, or billionaires. You know, the more I see what's happening in this state and in this country, the more I think the only minority destroying America is the billionaires. people are 1% of the population. Muslims are 1% of the population. Undocumented people are 1% of the population. We are focused on the wrong 1%. Trans people aren't taking away our health care. Muslims aren't defunding our schools. Immigrants aren't cutting taxes for themselves and their rich friends. It is the billionaires and their puppet politicians. The culture wars are a smokescreen. So many of the divisions in this state and in this country are manufactured by wealthy special interests who want us fighting each other instead of fighting them. They want us looking left and right at our neighbors instead of looking up at them. The biggest divide in our politics is not left versus right. It's top versus bottom. The people at the top, the Elon Musks, the Rupert Murdochs of the world, they spend so much time and energy keeping us angry and divided because our unity is a threat to their wealth and power. So they use their social media algorithms and their cable news networks to tear us apart. They divide us by race, by gender, by culture, by religion. They work so hard to keep us from seeing all that we have in common. They work so hard to keep us from realizing that there is far more that unites us than divides us. Because once we do realize that, we will come together across race, across gender, across culture, across religion to take power back for ourselves and our communities. You know, I was elected as the youngest member of the Texas legislature. And I did that by knocking on thousands of doors across my community, talking directly to young people. And I kept hearing the same refrain: I'm not interested in politics. And so eventually I just told them the truth. I said, you may not be interested in politics, but politics is interested in you. You may not care about politics, but your boss cares about politics. Your landlord about politics. Your insurance company cares about politics. And until you care about politics, they're going to keep using the political system to screw you over. Barbara Jordan had this great quote where she said, if you are not at the table, you are on the menu. If young people are not at the table in this election, we will be on the menu. Housing, student debt, gun violence, climate change, none of this will get better until you remake this broken political system in your own image. That is why I'm here. It's why I'm traveling the state to recruit people from all backgrounds to run for office at every level, to recruit people to volunteer and organize in their communities. By the way, if you have not scanned that QR code that's on all these screens, please do so, because that's how you can sign up to be in this fight. And there is no better time to join this fight than right now, because Donald Trump is rigging the next election as we speak. He and his allies in Congress just passed the largest transfer of wealth in American history with their big, beautiful bill. Literally kicking millions of people off their health care to fund tax breaks for billionaires. They know it's unpopular, but they don't care because they have a plan. Donald Trump just called Governor Abbott and told him to redraw the political maps here in Texas, to get them 5 more Republican seats that will protect their majority in the next election. They're going to draw our districts into crazy shapes to guarantee the outcome they want. And Texas is the testing ground for this strategy. If they succeed with this power grab here in Texas, they will do it in every red state across the country to rig the 2026 elections. Normally, when you pass unpopular policies, you lose the next election. That's how democracy is supposed to work, unless the other side cheats. If they succeed, they will never have to fear the voters ever again. They can enrich themselves and their donors with impunity, with no consequences, no accountability. This is the rot at the core of our broken political system. This redistricting system allows politicians to pick their voters instead of voters picking their politicians. In any other industry, this would be called a conflict of interest. It's why I filed a bill to take the power to draw political districts out of the hands of politicians and put it in the hands of Texans. Regardless of your party, whether you are a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent, none of us want politicians silencing our voices and rigging elections. This is not a partisan issue. This is one we have to confront together with a big coalition. All kinds of people need to join together to stop this. And if we do, we will set a model for the entire country going forward in this election. I want to leave you with one thought. My granddad was a Baptist preacher in South Texas, and he taught me at a very early age that we follow a barefoot rabbi who gave 2 commandments: love God and love neighbor.
That's right.
Because there is no love of God without love of neighbor. Every single person bears the image of the sacred. Every single person is holy.
Amen.
Every single person counts.
Yes.
This American experiment was started with that same self-evident truth that all people are created equal.
Yes.
This democracy of ours is not just a constitution, it's a covenant. It's a relationship between neighbors. It's a promise that we make to each other to share this country.
That's right.
Those billionaires and their puppet politicians are breaking that promise.
That's right.
With every transfer of wealth,
Yes.
with every suppressed vote, with every gerrymandered district, they are breaking that sacred promise. And breaking promises in a relationship is not love.
No.
It's abuse. And my mom taught me that true love doesn't tolerate abuse.
That's right.
2,000 years ago, when that barefoot rabbi saw the powerful few abusing the many, he walked into the seat of power and flipped over the tables of injustice. His love rose to meet abuse without becoming it. To those who love democracy, to those who love our neighbors, it's time to start flipping tables. That's what my granddad taught me. That's what my mother taught me on the east side of Austin. It's what my students taught me on the west side of San Antonio. It's what LBJ and Barbara Jordan taught me. It's what Wendy and Beto taught me. And together, Texas Democrats, that is how we will take back this state and this country in 2026 con ganas. Thank you so much for being here.